I'm here to talk today about a very great topic. Recording now, we are posting. You can check out my website at sterilizationstation.org. If you would like to reach out to me, you can reach me at sterilizationstation.com. So today we are going to be we're going to be diving into a great topic, and that is the 10 reasons why you should start a podcast in 2025. If you're considering launching a podcast, it's a great time. So many great topics that you can discuss, and especially in the world of sterile processing. And so just want to share a little bit about why I'm starting this podcast. Always was the one who kind of was joking in the department saying like, hey, one day I'm going to be an educator. One day I'm going to, get out there and start talking about sterile processing, and always was a person that was very passionate about sterile processing. And so I remember I was kind of thinking about the idea, and then a good friend of mine, Hank Balch at Beyond Clean, he created this post that basically said, where are the other podcasters for sterile processing? And so I decided that, instead of standing on the sidelines, I wanted to actually get in there, put my name in the hat, or put myself out there. I do feel that I'm very passionate. I love people. I love collaboration. I love education. And so I'm looking forward to having some great guests on the show, some educators, subject matter experts, vendor collaborations, and just really looking forward to just having fun and adding to the career path that has benefited me and my family for so many years. And so once again, thank you, Hank. Big shout out to Beyond Clean, and looking forward to having this discussion today. And so reason number one why you should start a podcast is because it is an opportunity for you to share your passion and knowledge. Whether your knowledge is in processing flexible scopes or sterilizing, decontaminating, and assembling different various sterile processing instrumentation, being able to share your knowledge into the community of sterile processing. Think about the pandemic and how just so many people were able to put their voice out there. LinkedIn, social media has grown, and people are really able to add their voice to the conversation about sterile processing. It used to be you used to have to go to an HSPA conference or an old ISHM conference, or a local chapter meeting or something to meet with a network with those in the sterile processing community. Well, now it's so much easier. You have social media. You're able to go on LinkedIn and you can build up, your following. You can ask questions, and it's just a great resource. And so the reason number one is an opportunity for you to share your passion and your experience in the industry. This different podcast can provide this perfect platform to educate, inspire, and have some very meaningful conversations with like-minded individuals. And so number two reason why you should start a podcast in 2025 is because podcasts build community. Networking community is, those who are close to one another and those who add value to one another. And so many people are isolating their experiences and not sharing them. But when you start a podcast, it allows you to create a space where listeners can feel connected, share their stories, and support one another. Building a sense of community is incredibly important to me. Different people who even had health conditions in the industry, and how they've been able to, share their story, and different ones are able to comfort them through that, and in the family of sterile processing. And so just being able to actually do that is another thing. And then the reason number three is it creates an outlet. We desperately need more creative people to add to the value of sterile processing. And I've always enjoyed storytelling and content creation, but I found myself needing a platform where I could express myself more freely. So podcasting lets me blend my creativity with my passion. And then number four is networking opportunities. When you're doing this podcasting, you're going to meet a lot of people. You're going to have great interviews, great shows, and it'll give you an opportunity to meet so many different people that's in the industry. So number four is networking. Podcasting is going to open doors to connect with incredible individuals in your field. And this could go from industry experts even to fellow enthusiasts. So it's a fantastic way to meet people and potentially collaborate in the future. Number five is for personal growth. Starting a podcast is going to challenge you in many ways. Public speaking, interviewing, content planning. Each episode will push you out of your comfort zone and even help you to grow both personally and professionally. Number 6 is documenting your journey. It's important to document your journey, and a podcast is a way for you to do that through your episodes, through the interviews, through the networking, sharing your passion, growing your passion by building relationships with people. There's people today I never would have met if it wasn't for me listening to their podcast. And so a podcast allows you to record your journey. You can share your experiences as well as add value to somebody else or something that you've been through that someone needs to hear. And so being able to share that with the community of sterile processing is amazing. I mean, I think that today I am where I am in my career because there are people who are willing to, to deposit or to invest. And so a podcast will serve as a record of your evolution, how you're being created, how you're growing, how you're developing. Listeners will be able to glean lessons from your mistakes and your successes. Number 7 is having encouraging conversations. It fosters the opportunity to share based upon your experience, and there's something that someone else is going through that they're going to be able to glean off of. And so having encouraging conversations, tuning into a podcast, one thing I thought about was in the pandemic, how stressful it was in sterile processing, and what if there was a podcast that I could have listened to that empowered, motivated, and encouraged. And so I want to facilitate dialogues around relative topics, encourage listeners to think critically, as well as engage in discussions. And so this is another reason why starting a podcast is really important in 2025. Having effective dialogue that can lead to new ideas, to be a part of that process. And so it's important to document the process as you're growing through it. And then reason number 8 is a platform for change. So I think Gandhi said, be the change that you want to be in the world. Sometimes you can't change because you just don't have the answers, or sometimes you're just not asking the right question. And so being on a podcast that will allow you to make you think about something that you ordinarily wouldn't have thought about. So value added podcast episodes that will encourage you and inspire you and believe in the power of storytelling, sparking discussions about important issues. The podcast allows you to amplify your voice and cause situations that matter to get to listeners. And then number 9 is flexibility and accessibility. Basically a podcast allows you can have a flexible schedule that will allow you to share and to set your schedule around, the things that you value, your work-life balance. Podcasts are increasingly popular. They're growing a lot. There's so many podcasts on Spotify, on Google, on Apple. And so this is another reason why a podcast today would be a great idea, because it gives people access to valuable content anywhere and anytime and anywhere. And there's so many people in your professional network that have experiences that can empower somebody else. And number 10, the final reason why you should start a podcast in 2025 is for the simple joy of just learning. Through research and interviews for podcasts, you will continually expose yourself to new ideas and topics. And this is something that can fuel your curiosity and keep you engaged with the world around you. And so, just the joy of learning about new people, learning things you've never learned, learning processes, or, the old saying about how there's, 7 or 8 ways to skin a cat. So the solution that you're looking for could be on a podcast episode. And so having conversation with vendors, demo with vendors, having conversation with subject matter experts, educational sessions is just really about empowering the community of sterile processing. And so in conclusion, I want to say there you go. There you have it. 10 reasons why you should start a podcast in 2025. I'm starting my podcast. This is the Sterilization Station. Please stay tuned. Look forward to the next episodes. Please drop a comment or send me a message. Connect with me on social media. You can find me on LinkedIn, Bill Rishell. You can find me on Instagram, Sterilization Station _52. Let's keep the conversation going. And until then, stay encouraged and inspired. And we'll definitely see you in the next episode. Make it a great day.